Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. This is Jenga Njeru. Now, today we have the Matchmaker show, and you understand the protocol here. Any other time we have a man on board, that man must be looking for a woman. In the same way, when we have a woman on board, that woman must be looking for a man. But because today we have a man, I will tell you the kind of woman he is looking for. But before then, if you're watching us for the first time, this is the Matchmaker show. We help men and women to get matches. And the moment they get the right ones, they meet their destinies. So you're not lost. If you're new to the show, subscribe, like the video, and don't forget to leave a comment. Also, the contacts of our guest will be on my Facebook page at Jenganjero. So you can follow Jenganjero on Facebook and you will be getting these updates in real time. Our guest on today's show is Mr. Kingsley Ochieng. Kingsley Ochieng, that name is coming from Luo Nyanza. He is a 47-year-old man, single and searching, but currently working and living in New York, in Manhattan. And New York is a state in the United States of America. So he is single and searching. You could be asking yourself, why is Kingsley single? What kind of woman is he looking for? What happened? And if we answer these questions, then the person who is watching will be able to make a concrete decision on whether they will be interested in the guest or not. So, Mr. Ochieng is single because he is divorced with papers. There's a difference between divorce and casual separation. A casual separation is when you separate, but the law has no idea that you are no longer husband and wife. They did not even know that you are husband and wife in the first place until maybe you tell them. Maybe only community, society, family and friends, the people who are close to you, neighbors, are the only people that can tell whether you are husband or wife to somebody. And Mr. Kingsley Ochieng is divorced but with the papers. He is in New York. He is single and searching. He went with his wife in the year 2013. They are now 11 years in the US, but that marriage did not see the light of the day 5 years after they went there. So for the last 6 years, he has been single, contemplating. And according to him, the good thing is that the wife got engaged and married somebody else. And there were no hard feelings. They continued to parent their two sons together. They continued to co-parent, and although the custody was given to the man, now the sons are big because there were justifiable reasons. I did not dig deep to know the justifiable reasons because maybe there was a case of infidelity or maybe inability to raise the children from the mother's side or any other thing. There could be many reasons and why the law can decide to grant one person custody of the kids and not the other person. And that is why the woman was denied custody and Mr. Kingsley Ochieng was given or granted custody of their two sons. Now, their sons are 20 and 23 years respectively, the first and the second one. So they are out on their own. And now the father feels that it is about time that he gets somebody else. Now, this is the condition. If you are in the US and you are already settled, and if you're in the US and you are looking forward to get this kind of a man who is open-minded, strong-willed, a man who, I asked him, what about your spiritual life? He says that he won't lie, he doesn't go to church, but he believes in God. Those are his words. Those are not my words. So if you're that person who can take in somebody who is strong-willed, somebody who is he says that he's not a church fanatic. Those are his words again, but he believes in God. He prays every morning. He thanks God for the meals, for the gift of life. He believes in God. He prays for his children. He prays for his family back at home. He respects the church, but he does not go to church. Maybe because of the nature of his work, I don't know. But okay, those are decisions that are very personal, and maybe such questions can be asked directly to Kingsley because he will be in the best position to answer. Now, Mr. Kingsley is looking for a woman who is between the ages of 35 and 48 or 50, hata ikienda 50, lakini asimzidi sana kwa umri. But that woman should also be very committed. The woman should be free from ties. I mean, with ties with the former ex-husband family, if that woman was married at some point, or does not have contact, or does not engage the baby daddy if they were married at some point. He wants somebody who is clean, somebody who is coming with a clean plate, somebody who is not going to bring chaos and a lot of conflict between him and another man. He is peaceful, he says. And then he comes from Luo Nyanza in Homa Bay County. You know, Homa Bay is in Luo Nyanza, and he's a Luo. So somebody could be thinking that he's a black American. No, there's a difference between a black American and an African American. An African American is somebody who came from Africa, born and raised in Africa, for example, went to the US and they started pushing life there. Whether they gained dual citizenship along the way or not, then that person is not born in America. But a black American is somebody whose roots trace back to the US. Maybe they went there during the slave trade, and because basically that is what most of them became, that is how most of them became Americans. Because you remember the triangular trade, the transatlantic trade, you know, that trade that you are getting slaves from Africa, raw materials from Europe, and slaves to America, you know. So you are getting slaves from Africa, you are taking them to the US for cheap labor and things like that. So most of the black Americans were able to settle there many years ago. And that is what President Abraham Lincoln of the US was championing for, the end of slave trade. And that's how most black Americans found themselves in the US. But now this is not a black American, he is a Kenyan American, an African American, and to be precise, from Luo Nyanza in Homa Bay County. So he's looking for a woman. The need doesn't have to necessarily be a Luo. And most of the people I have met in this show, and especially those who have traveled, will always tell you that the moment they begin to travel is the moment they begin to expose themselves that there is something bigger than tribe, there is something bigger than locality. And that is why, even if you are not a Kenyan and you're watching this show, even if you're coming from a different country, maybe you are from Tanzania, Uganda, South Africa, and you could be interested in Mr. Kingsley Ochieng, who is a Kenyan by birth. He's also an American citizen because he was able to get his papers. He can travel. He comes often. He is in Kenya. He comes back. He was here during the Christmas Eve. He celebrated Christmas, the New Year. Then he went back. So he is able to come, and he is able to travel. So there are no ties between him and his former wife. His former wife is now the current wife of somebody else. So there is no way heaven and earth can merge to bring the two together. Okay, and even their children have attained the legal age where they can take good care of themselves. And now he feels that now that the nest is empty, he can get somebody. So this woman, I told you that Mr. Ochieng is somebody who is liberal, and even at 47 he says if that person would be comfortable getting a baby, he doesn't have a problem. So after this, I'm going to post his contact on my Facebook page at Jenganjeru. You can follow Jenganjeru on Facebook, and you will be getting these updates in real time. Until then, we wish Mr. Kingsley Ochieng the best of luck. We wish all the singles the best of luck. And cheers to all those who have been matched on our show successfully. God bless you. Bye bye.